This is the Aftermarket Radio Network. It's your Weekly Blitz with Chris, keeping you in the game.
Are you ready to supercharge your auto repair business? This is Coach Chris Cotton from AutoFix Auto Shop Coaching. The Weekly Blitz is where industry expertise and business innovation collide, revving your engines for the week ahead. Every episode has game-changing insights, up-to-the-minute industry updates, and practical tips to shift your business into high gear. We're talking about stuff you didn't even know you didn't know, folks. This episode is brought to you by Shop Marketing Pros, the experts in marketing for top-tier auto repair shops. If you're running a successful shop and want to take it to the next level, Shop Marketing Pros is without a doubt your best option. From websites and SEO to social media and digital ads, Shop Marketing Pros help shop owners just like you fill your bays, grow your revenue, and build the life you've been working for. If you're ready to take the guesswork out of your marketing, visit shopmarketingpros.com/Chris to get a free digital marketing inspection and start building the shop of your dreams today. So today we're going to talk about technicians as service advisors. If you probably would have asked me a year ago, if you probably would have asked me 5 years ago, if you're a client and said, hey, I have a technician I want to put up at the front counter as a service advisor, I would have told you hell no. Like in the past, my past experience has always been that technicians don't make very good service advisors, mainly because most technicians are better with mechanical things than they are with people, so they don't have the customer service background or the customer service ability. There's a reason why they work on cars, okay? Secondly, it's usually because technicians have a huge adversity to price and pricing. They're not able to make the connection between what the shop needs to make in order to survive. They just know what they can do it for, and they're like, I can do that job for this, so I think it should cost less. And that's when they start banging away on the pricing and start making it cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And that's why a lot of technician turned shop owners end up in coaching programs, is because they cannot make that connection. They think because they can do it for themselves that it shouldn't cost as much if they're doing it for somebody else. And that's usually where they, head down a path or head down a wrong path. But I will tell you, I have completely had a 360-degree reversal on this. We're going to get into it and talk about why. Okay. So most of you know, we bought a shop. The person that we hired to manage the shop, his name's David. He's a great manager. He's a great technician. I actually would have liked to have worked with him as a technician just to see kind of how he did that. But somebody else recommended him to me, and it was a very, very good recommendation, and it's just working out really, really well. And so David has changed my mind on that. And then we just recently had to fill a service advisor position, and one of our other technicians, our lead technician, it's like, hey, kind of for the same reasons as David, I'm getting a little bit older, late 30s, early 40s, and I don't want to do this forever. And so in order to keep those people in our business, we created roles for them, or have roles for them to where they're doing. And David was on vacation the last couple of days. And so I went in to work with LaShawn. Honestly, just listening to a technician make a sales presentation, it keeps blowing my doors off and lets me know how not good I am just because I don't have the technical knowledge. I'm great at relationships. I can talk to the customer. I can talk about everything, but just the technical knowledge is just not there for me. Now, I will say, I find both of them a lot of times over explaining things when it's time to just be like, hey, this is it. This is when we can have it done. This is how much it costs. And then getting them to say yes. But they're very successful and they get a lot of yeses. And that's been a tribute, to the business where we're at with our average repair order, where we're at with everything else. So I'm going to talk about technicians as service advisors. Okay. So staffing's a little weird in auto repair shops. I still find that the good shops have plenty of people and they're not looking. And some of the industry stuff that I've been reading, and I don't know if this is true or not, because, you read something here, you read something there, you don't know what the truth is. Something I read yesterday was we've actually been able to add about 3% to our employee base. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's 3% net or if it's just we've added 3% and then we've lost 10%. But the stuff I'm reading is about 3 to 5%, probably towards 3%. So I know most of you think I'd be nuts if I told you, hey, you need to take a tech out of the shop and move them to the front counter. But I think there's instances, like I just said, where that's a good thing. And it can be a good thing both for the technician / new service advisor and the shop. We have these staffing challenges, whatever it is. And we have to find the right people for key roles. If you think back to the old graphic we used to show, it is a bus, and are all your people in the right seats on the bus? And it's a growing challenge, and we keep doing it. But I think sometimes that's important to keep. And I think there's a trend in technicians transitioning into service advisor roles. If you're seeing that, if you're having technicians ask, now I know a lot of technicians ask, and I've had some that you take up there and just have them listen to you talk to customers and answer the phone, and they're like, yeah, I know. I lasted 30 minutes. There's no way I can do that job. Technicians have an incredibly difficult job. Service advisors have an incredibly difficult job. Managers and owners have a difficult job. All right. Like, this is not an easy industry. It's not an easy thing to do. I can tell a story. This could probably be its own podcast episode of an interaction I had with a customer last week. So being in that position is hard. Anyway, so what we're going to talk about is understanding the advisor role a little bit, why techs are a natural fit, and then we're going to address those concerns and hopefully provide you some actionable tips. When we think about the role of a service advisor, what are the core responsibilities? They're to serve as a communication bridge between customers and technicians. They have to educate customers about services, repairs, and costs in an approachable, relatable way. They have to be able to schedule appointments, manage workflow, and oversee service timelines. And probably more important than all that, they have to build trust, foster loyalty, and ensure customer satisfaction. It's a difficult job. If we're thinking about key traits of successful advisors, they have to be empathetic, practice active listening. They have to, like we just said, problem solving, multitasking. And they have to be able to sell things without being salesy, or what Kimberly and I like to say is swarthy, if you know what that word is. And advisors are crucial because they're the face of the shop. They're the first and last point of contact for customers. A great advisor can boost retention. They can upsell services and improve the overall customer experience. Okay. So why are technicians, I'm going to call it a natural fit at this point. And again, not every technician. You have to find that one or two that can handle customers and do everything. Number one, they have a deep technical knowledge. Technicians bring an insider's understanding of repairs, making them better equipped to explain issues to customers. Just watching David and LaShawn and listening to them explain stuff to people is just amazing. Just like how things operate, how one thing affects another. And I'm just amazed at their ability. Like, I know they have the abilities to fix these things, but the ability to explain to customers on such a deep level. And so as long as you don't push it too far or talk to them too much until their eyes glaze over, because if they were to do that to me, I'd just be like, hey, when can I have it done? Or how much is it going to cost? Because you're over my head with a lot of that technical stuff. But customers are more likely to trust advice from someone with hands-on experience. And then sometimes you get those customers in there that have been watching 20 hours of YouTube videos. They can stump me pretty quickly because I'm like, yeah, I don't, like 90% of what you just said, I don't understand. I've watched them both handle that in the last couple of weeks, and they handle it extremely well. They've done really, really good with it. Technicians have a problem-solving mindset. So I think they're able to diagnose and fix problems when it comes to customer service. And I think those skills transfer pretty seamlessly on being able to handle customer concerns and things like that. So when we talk about shop operations, technicians have a familiarity with workflow. They have a familiarity with parts ordering. They know how long jobs should take and time management. I don't know how I want to say this. Their ability to see the workflow and the time management together helps them get stuff out of the shop pretty quickly, I think. And maybe the biggest thing is they have an empathy for the back of shop staff. They both worked with the guys in the shop previously, and so they know each other from that level, and they know each other from this level. And having been in technicians' shoes, I think they bridge gaps between the front desk and the shop floor really, really well. As somebody that's not at the shop every day and they're just, running with the business and taking control of it, I think they do an exceptional job. So what would be some common concerns of having a technician at the front counter? Number one, lack of customer service experience. I think you have to put those people in training and mentorship, and able to develop communication and soft skills, making sure they know how to handle our end of the technology, texting this customer, emailing that customer, what you're doing with this, what you're doing with that. But I think overall, once they learn that they're really good for that. Another concern is you're losing the technical talent in the shop. And so, you have talent drain. But what would happen if you burnt that technician out and they left your business in 5 years because they didn't see a path forward or whatever? I would much rather have that technician as a service advisor for 10 or 15 years than just burning them out and basically throwing them away after 5 years in the shop. One of the things we have to think about is a well-trained advisor increases overall shop efficiency and customer satisfaction, and that benefits the team. Okay. I already stated this once, is the financial implications. You may be paying a technician more as a technician than you would pay them as a service advisor, or they might be just as valuable. So I would almost tell you, pull this person up for a week, try it out, and then talk about a pay plan after that. Don't talk about a pay plan before you move them up front. Might be one of the best salespeople you've ever had. Like this one position we've filled, gosh, it's been the cursed position in the shop. We've had like 3 people in that position, now 4th in 6 months. And I think we have a winner now. But having other people that weren't as good in that position probably cost us more money. And then anytime you let a service advisor go or a service advisor leaves, you find out all the stuff they were hiding or weren't following through on that you just didn't know. So having the right person in the right seat on the bus makes all the difference in the world. Earlier, I was talking about technicians know how long it takes to them, and they think, because I can do it in an hour, everybody can do it in an hour, but it shows booked down like 5 hours. My last kind of concern that I would tell you, a lot of technicians would be price adverse because they know what it takes for them to do the job. And if you don't have a really, really good shop management system in place and you don't have some processes and procedures in place, I could see where that gets out of hand. The way we have it set now, you pull everything over. It's got the labor, it's got the parts, it's got the price. It is what it is. And then when you look at that in the overall framework, one of the things that LaShawn said was like, I thought this was going to be way harder than it was. And it's really not. It's just pulling stuff over. Next, like, how do we transition technicians? Like, what do we do? First of all, again, we have to identify the right technicians, and I need you to look for technicians with strong communication skills and a desire to grow. Personality traits like patience, empathy, and a positive attitude are going to be really, really good in this position. If you have a technician that throws stuff around the shop and cusses because they have this anxiety or whatever, probably not a good idea to bring those people up front. Okay. Next, you got to get those people training and support. So we got to get them training on customer service, sales techniques, time management, things like that. If at all possible, pair them with an experienced advisor for shadowing opportunities, teach them things. Just don't throw them at the counter and say, hey, here you go. Just like in the shop, you have to create a clear path for them. You need to lay out a structured roadmap for the transition, including benchmarks and goals, offer incentives for taking on new responsibilities, make sure that they learn the position, and then have a pay plan that pays them well for that position. For us, like, my goal is for everybody to be on a path to make $100,000 a year. That was no difference for them as a technician as it is a service advisor. Like, I want you to be so good at your job that I have to write a check to you every week and go, man, I'm paying this person a ton of money. But guess what? They're doing their job flawlessly. They don't need me, and they're making the shop a ton of money. Like, that's a happy problem. And it should be a problem that everybody has that, they're working for. If we look at a business case for promoting technicians, what does that look like? It's, first of all, you have what we talked about: improved customer trust and loyalty, enhanced team dynamics, increased revenue potential. I think our average repair order at the shop's been pretty good. Like, if you remember back when I first did it, our average repair order was like $250 when I bought the shop. We're now consistently in the mid fours. Our tickets are getting bigger and bigger. I think mainly because, we moved a technician up front, but we were also to hire another technician in the back, which was as good or better than the one that we moved up. And so the increased revenue potential is huge. Like, this is going to be a net positive for the shop in a lot of ways. Advisors with technical expertise, they're going to upsell more services, and they're going to be able to explain the value and the necessity of repair. So that's, again, goes into the business case. And then 2, we've also future-proofed our shop. We've developed a pipeline now that we can address service advisor issues. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to start teaching a couple of our other people in the shop how to come up and write tickets. That way, I had to step back into the shop because we weren't quite ready with that for a couple of days. No big deal. It lets me know the pulse of the business. I'm there usually a couple half days a week anyway. I want to be able, if somebody gets sick, if somebody has a vacation, that, a couple of guys in the back of the shop can come up, write tickets, talk to customers, and help them out without me having to run back to the front counter. If you're a shop owner and you have to constantly run to the front counter, you're not quite a shop owner yet. You're close. You're a business owner, but you've not separated yourself from that business quite yet. What I would tell you, or to recap this whole thing a little bit, is technicians bring unmatched value to the advisor role through their technical expertise, their credibility, and their problem-solving skills. We have to address concerns and make sure that we offer them proper training and support, and that's going to ensure a smooth transition. So one thing I'd like to hear from you is, have you promoted a technician to a service advisor role? Did it work out? Did it not work out? We'd love to hear your story. If you want to come on as a guest on an episode, we'll put you on there. We'll talk about it. You can share your experiences on our social media channel, or you can send me an email, chris@autofixsos.com, and talk about your experience with that. Okay. I'd like to give another shout out to our sponsor, Shop Marketing Pros. They're the only marketing company I recommend, and they handle all of the marketing for my own shop as well. If you're serious about growth, you need strategies that actually work. Better websites, higher Google rankings, and ads that bring real customers through your doors. Visit shopmarketingpros.com/Chris to partner with a team that understands your business, because every great shop deserves marketing that's just as great. Thanks for tuning in to the Weekly Blitz. Remember, it's time to rise, grind, and keep your mindset positive, people. Till next time, this is Coach Chris Cotton signing off.
You've been listening to the Weekly Blitz with Coach Chris Cotton on the AftermarketRadioNetwork.com. Follow Chris on your favorite podcast listening app. Let him know what you'd like him to cover. His email is in the show notes. Chris is all for advancing the aftermarket.